I still remember the first time I visited Dubai. It was something I had dreamed of for years. I had seen photos and videos of the city, the tall buildings, the luxury, the desert, the lights. But standing there in person felt completely different. It was not just a city. It was an experience, something that felt bigger than me. When my plane landed, I looked out of the window and saw the golden lights of the city shining like stars on the ground. It was night and everything looked magical. I had never seen an airport so huge. As I walked through the arrival hall, I saw people from every country, every culture, all in one place. The energy in the air was exciting. I took a deep breath and smiled to myself. I had made it. The moment I stepped outside, the warm air touched my face. It was a dry kind of heat, different from what I had felt before. The roads were clean, the cars were big, and everything looked modern and perfect. My taxi driver welcomed me with a friendly smile. He spoke good English and asked if it was my first time in Dubai. I said yes, and he told me, "You're going to love it." On the way to the hotel, I couldn't take my eyes off the skyline. The Burj Khalifa was shining in the distance like a silver needle touching the sky. It looked unreal. I had seen it in movies and pictures, but now it was in front of me. I was speechless. My hotel was near downtown, and when I entered my room, I went straight to the window. The view was unbelievable. Lights, buildings, cars, and the calm night sky. I didn't want to sleep. I just wanted to watch. The next morning, I woke up early. I was too excited. I had a long list of places I wanted to see, but I decided to start with the most iconic one, the Burj Khalifa. As I walked closer to it, I had to look up again and again. It was so tall I could barely see the top. When I entered the building and went up in the elevator, my heart was beating fast. The speed of the elevator, the soft music, and the feeling of going higher and higher, it was thrilling. When the doors opened at the top, I stepped out and saw the whole city below me. It felt like I was flying. From that height, Dubai looked even more beautiful. I could see the desert in one direction and the sea in the other. The buildings looked like toys. I stayed there for a long time, taking pictures and trying to remember every detail. I didn't want to forget that feeling of being on top of the world. It gave me confidence. It made me believe that dreams can really come true. After coming down, I visited the Dubai Mall. I had never seen a mall that big. It was like a city inside a city. There were shops from every brand, restaurants from every cuisine, and even an aquarium. I stood in front of the aquarium glass, watching sharks and colorful fish swim peacefully. It was beautiful and calming. I ate lunch at a small food court, where people from different countries sat together laughing and enjoying. I felt like a part of something global. In the evening, I went for the fountain show outside the Burj Khalifa. The music started, the water danced, and lights changed colors. It was magical. I stood there among hundreds of people, all watching with wide eyes and smiling faces. We didn't speak the same language, but in that moment, we all shared the same feeling. It was one of joy and wonder. The next day, I decided to explore the traditional side of Dubai. I took a taxi to the old part of the city, where I visited the Al Fahidi historical district. The buildings were made of stone and clay, with narrow alleys and wooden doors. It felt like time had slowed down. I walked quietly, listening to the sound of my footsteps and the soft breeze. I entered a small museum that showed the history of Dubai before the tall towers and fast cars. It was humbling to see how the city had grown from a desert village to a global hub. Later, I went to the Dubai Creek and took a ride on an abra, a traditional wooden boat. The ride was short but peaceful. I saw traders, locals, and tourists moving about, and I felt connected to the soul of the city. It wasn't just about luxury. It was also about culture, hard work, and dreams. I spent my afternoon in the gold souk and the spice souk. The colors, the smells, the voices, everything was alive. I bought a small souvenir, a keychain with a golden camel, and smiled. It was a simple thing, but it meant a lot to me. It was a piece of this place I could carry home. On another day, I went for a desert safari. I had always imagined deserts to be empty and boring, but this trip changed my mind. The dunes were beautiful, golden waves under the sky. The jeep ride was wild and fun, going up and down the sandy hills. I screamed and laughed like a child. We stopped at a high dune to watch the sunset. The sky turned orange, pink and purple. It was quiet, peaceful and deeply moving. I had never felt so small and yet so alive. That evening we reached a desert camp where there was food, music and dancing. I sat on a carpet, ate grilled meat and sweet desserts, and watched a belly dancer perform. The stars came out one by one, and I looked up at the sky for a long time. There was no noise, no traffic, just music and the sound of the wind. It felt like a dream. Throughout my trip, I met many people. Taxi drivers, shopkeepers, hotel staff, other tourists. Everyone had a story. Some came to work, some came to explore, some came to start a new life. Dubai was full of people chasing dreams. I felt inspired. I felt like I was not alone. My dreams were valid, and I was in a place that celebrated ambition. On my last day, I visited the beach. The sand was soft, and the sea was calm. I took off my shoes and walked along the shore. The waves touched my feet gently. I sat down, closed my eyes, and listened. I thought about everything I had seen, felt, and learned. I was going back with more than photos. I was going back with stories, with feelings, with a new version of myself. Dubai had given me more than I expected. It gave me excitement, adventure, peace, and reflection. It showed me the future and reminded me of the past. It gave me moments that I would never forget. When I boarded the flight back home, I looked at the city one last time from the window. I whispered to myself, "Thank you, Dubai. I will return."